At the start of your business journey, you are everything, and it can be a really, really lonely path. You are the CEO, you're putting out the rubbish, you're the marketing manager, you are the sales director, you are the everything, and it can feel really, really overwhelming. And that's certainly how I felt at the beginning of my journey over 10 years ago. And sometimes we find ourselves searching for all the answers, looking for help, asking everybody. Now, the great thing is, because I've been on this journey, I have met the most incredible go-to experts, or I call them my go-to experts. And that's why I guess I created this playlist on my YouTube channel, so that I can bring those incredible people to you. My name is Lindsay Burden. I'm a business coach, and I inspire, motivate, and guide female business owners. Almost couldn't get my words out then. Because I know why, because I'm really excited, and I'll tell you why I'm really excited in a minute. But I help business owners create wildly successful businesses and a time-rich lifestyle. But today I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you to Kaye King. Now, there's a reason, isn't there, Kaye, that we're so excited and a bit over bubbly maybe on my side?
There is. It's taken us a little while to get here, Lindsay.
It has taken us a little while, but I think that will make it even better, because it's
even better. One missing in action, one Wi-Fi challenge, and this is third time lucky. So here we are.
It's going to be incredible. Hey, let me introduce everyone to you. So, Kaye King, you are on a mission to debunk the myths. That's quite hard to say, that cause fear, frustration, and overwhelm around marketing. After working in marketing agencies for over 30 years with clients like Hilton Hotels, Kenco, TK Maxx, Kaye now uses her experience to help fearful solo business owners embrace marketing and prioritize it to grow their business without overwhelm. And that's such an incredible introduction that you wrote for me to share with people, because it really resonates with me, because marketing just feels like such hard work, and people really are fearful of it, aren't they?
They are, and the problem is it's huge. It's a huge topic, and there are a gazillion things that you could be doing to promote your business and make yourself visible. And there are also a gazillion people telling you what you should be doing to promote your business. So there's podcasting, there's emails, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, TikTok, Threads.
Yes.
Clubhouse. Is anyone on Clubhouse still anymore?
I don't know if it exists.
You know, every single week, if you're trying to work out what to do for your marketing, something different will pop up in your inbox. And it is overwhelming, and it feels almost impossible to know where to start. And actually, if you Google how to market your small business, you will get around 4.1 billion results. I did it one day just to see. 4.1 billion results. No wonder everyone's feeling overwhelmed. It's a big old noisy world out there.
And it's that overwhelm, and it's that number of ways and methods that we can be marketing ourselves, and it's the number of people that are talking about it and in the arena, I think, that really causes the fear around marketing, because we don't want to get it wrong, we don't know what to do, we don't know what to try, and it feeds that fear, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does feed that fear. And so you've hit the nail on the head there with the fear of getting it wrong, the fear of doing the wrong thing, wasting time, energy, sometimes money on stuff that doesn't get what you want, and also the fear of being visible. You know, we have been brought up, particularly as little girls. I work 95% of my clients are women. I do work with men, and all of them and all of us have been brought up not to show off. Not boasting isn't nice. So when we are putting ourselves out there to promote our businesses, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And that also stops people from doing anything.
Yeah.
Or as I say, the other side of the coin sometimes is people very busy doing lots of different things and it's not working, and that causes that frustration as well. And just like, I'm no good at this. People feel like a failure, and they're not. They're just not marketing experts, and they just following all of the noise, which isn't helpful.
I've got a couple of questions and I'm like, oh no, I need to go back to the title. I haven't told everyone. So marketing without tears, and it's how I know you. It's a phrase that I hear you say. I was going to say a lot, but that sounds like you're just repeating yourself. But it's kind of how we know you always, marketing without tears. And I was busy picking up my pencil because I wanted to write a couple of notes down. And there's one thing that really came up for me before we get into the 3 fabulous shares that I've noted down here that we want, the 3 messages I guess we want to get across today. But you were talking about women and being visible there. And I have a real challenge around being visible now. I have older children who are on social media, and actually their peers see me and say things, and I do sometimes wonder if there is a sense of embarrassment. Oh, mum's on here, you know, mum's doing this. And so I think there is as I've sort of got older, you know, or as my kids have got older, I've become more consciously aware of how my visibility impacts them. And they're growing up. But that's sort of aside, but I quickly wrote it down because I think it's really interesting how it's changed. I had no fear before.
Yeah, it is really interesting. And actually I think your children are a bit younger than mine. Mine are in their 20s now, and I, you know, they don't care, I don't care. And when they were in their teens, I was still working in the agency world. So, but that is a really interesting thing. And it could be anyone, you know, we just have that fear of what will other people think. And actually it's important for me, when I speak to my clients about that visibility and that feeling a bit icky and a bit grubby about putting yourself out there. If you're not being visible, the people who need your help won't know you're there. And if they don't know you're there, they can't get the help that they need. And you can't help them. They may go somewhere else, and that might not be the right person for them. And so actually, if you can kind of reframe it a bit and position it as, you know, you're not putting yourself personally out there. You are helping your dream clients, the people who need your help. You're helping them find you and find out whether working with you is the right solution for them. It might not be, and that's okay. But if you're not visible, they will never know, and you will never know.
There was another thing that came out for me as well. I always have to get my pencil out because I don't want to miss anything you say. So I have to write it down almost without looking. You mentioned as well, you know, that sort of long list. You started a long list of different ways of marketing our businesses. And I often feel, and have seen it and probably done it myself, you go, oh, this isn't working. So you just keep jumping or adding more and more. And that feeds again that overwhelm and that fear, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it does. And that stems from a misunderstanding of what marketing is. Because if you haven't got a marketing background, if you haven't had any kind of formal marketing training, your view of what marketing is only what we can see. It's only what's out on social media. It's emails, it's websites, it's all of that stuff. SEO you can't see, but you can see people talking about it. And the problem with that is, if you just keep doing more stuff without doing some really important foundational work, it's never going to work for you. So, you know, the important thing is to kind of stop doing more marketing, slow down, take a breath, and think about, there's 3 really, really important questions to think about before you do anything, before you go anywhere near your social media platform or your email or your website. And those questions are: who do you help? How do you help them? And why are you different? Why would anybody come to you as opposed to all of the other hundreds and hundreds of coaches, consultants, therapists out there? And when you get very clear on those 3 questions, everything else is much easier. It's much easier to write your social media content. It's much easier to stand up at a networking event and deliver your 60 seconds in a way that people can take away and go, I know exactly what that person does, who she can help and how she can help them. Doing that work, slowing down and doing that work is really important. And then it makes the rest of the stuff easier. Just getting busy doing more marketing isn't going to help you grow your business. If it's not working already, you may just need to slow down and look at the bigger questions.
You used the word a minute ago, reframing. And one of the very first point I had down here, and that key message that we wanted to get across today, is that marketing is just a conversation. And I wanted to explore that a little bit, because I think that's a brilliant mindset shift. If you can do that, it just takes away some of the pain of marketing. I think.
Absolutely. And marketing is, I talk about it all the time. I do. And you mentioned repetition. I don't want to make you sound like you're repeating yourself. And actually, it's good to repeat yourself in your marketing content, because consistency matters. People need to understand what you stand for. And actually, if for me, marketing is just a conversation, is something I say all the time. I say it without thinking, and I forget that for other people. Sometimes it's like, wow, that's a different take on it. But that is all it is. It's a conversation between you and somebody who may need your help, who may or may not be interested in working with you. And it's about helping them, guiding them towards the right decision for them, whether that's to work with you or not. And you get to choose how, when, where, how often you have those conversations. You don't have to be everywhere all the time. You can find a way that works for you, and build those relationships in a way that works for you. So yeah, that's why marketing is just a conversation. At its heart, that's all it is.
There was somebody I worked with years and years and years ago, and they just said, it was something about writing a blog. I said, just imagine the one person. And it really stuck. Every time I write, I am only talking to one person. I'm only having a conversation with one person. And that was really beneficial to me, just having that. Okay, I'm only talking to one person, because it made it easier to be conversational and to have that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it stops you it stops you doing that thing where you think, I've got to write professionally, I've got to use professional words. You can be professional and be friendly and be approachable and be relaxed and informal. And that speaking to one person thing is really, really important. When I work with my clients, whether I work with them privately or whether in the marketing sanctuary, I'm looking up here because I encourage them to create a personality. It's not an avatar. I don't talk about avatars. They're blue characters in a film. They're not living, breathing human beings. And our marketing message needs to connect with a living, breathing human being. So create that dream client profile, create a written story for them, a picture of what their life is like and what's going on for them, and have a visual picture of them. Don't spend hours in Google looking for images that are perfect, but find something that represents them, stick it up by your desk, and then, exactly as you say, when you're writing a blog, writing a social media post, anything to do with your marketing, you're having a conversation with that person. Give them a name as well. Mine's called Sarah.
So if there are any Sarahs listening, we're talking.
Yeah, I don't have any clients called Sarah yet. It would be great if I did. I did have one as a one-off earlier this year, but that was the first in several years. So yeah.
One of the other things that I did, and I'm not sure that I can attribute it directly to you, but there are a number of people that were in my arena that were talking about marketing as a conversation. And because I don't like the word strategy or plan, and I'm not very keen on the word marketing, because marketing just feels really, really hard work, my plan is called a communication strategy. So rather than thinking about it as marketing my business and getting out there and doing it, I'm just communicating. That's
exactly that.
And it was you, and there was a number of others that all came into my arena at the same time. And I thought, hang on a minute, I don't have to call it a marketing plan if I don't want to. And that was another.
Yeah. And I talk about a communications plan with my clients, because a strategy and a communications plan are slightly different, but we don't need to get into any technicalities. But a strategy is really just a way of getting where you want to be. That's it. And it is a word that strikes fear into people. And I don't talk about it a lot at all, because my clients don't want a strategy. They want marketing to feel easier. They want marketing to feel less stressful. They want to get those dream clients into their world without feeling icky or grubby or fully stressed out all the time. They don't want a strategy. And I can help them do that. And we'll create something that they can call whatever they like, to help them get there.
And because they do it in that way, they will implement it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
The second point on my list, and we have already touched on it, but I think it's important that we come back to it. But you have already said it. Doing more marketing isn't always the answer.
No.
I think it's important that we come back to that, because
yes,
I feel like, oh, I'll just do a bit of this and I'll do some of that, and we just spread ourselves thinner and thinner and thinner.
Yeah, and that's draining. It drains the energy, and it drains the enthusiasm and the love. You know, we are running businesses because we want to do work we love. We want to work with clients who bring us joy and make us want to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
And marketing with the right message can do that for you. It can bring the right people into your world. If you're busy with the wrong kind of clients for you, marketing, a shift in your marketing can help with that. But yeah, that just doing more stuff is an easy habit to kind of slip into. I worked with somebody, a lady in the marketing sanctuary, who we were on one of our calls, and she was trying to fill a workshop, and the workshop was in 2 or 3 weeks time, and she said, I'm just going to have to get on Instagram and do a load more reels. And I said, hold on a second. I said, you have an email list of 300 or 400 people, and those people love you, they know you, they've been on workshops before. How about you send them an email? Oh, I've told them about this workshop already. Okay, when did you do that? Oh, about 3 weeks ago. Okay, right. Do not go and create a whole load of new reels on Instagram. This afternoon, send one email to your list and tell them that there are places on that workshop. One email. She pulled her face, she went and did it. She got 3 bookings from that email, because we instantly go, I've got to do more of this. I'm waving my arms around. I'm on YouTube. That's okay. I'll just do more stuff. And just one simple email to the right people at the right time will have an impact. Yes, the Instagram reels for that kind of business, they matter, but you don't have to just keep doing more of them.
No, and it's really interesting, isn't it, that but I've told them already, and I told them 3
weeks ago. I don't want to bother people.
We don't want to bother people. But going back to what you said at the beginning, and it's something that I talk about as well with my clients, you know, we have a responsibility to get our message out there, to tell people that we are here, because our clients are waiting for us to show up. And if we don't show up, they stay stuck. Or as you pointed out as well, they'll go and find a solution elsewhere, which might not be the right solution for them. So, you know, we have that responsibility to get out there and tell the world, and it's okay. We're not bothering people. I mean, if I'm on some mailing lists and some big American coaches, etc., when they start launching, it's every day. Do I get annoyed?
Multiple times a day sometimes. Yeah.
That's too much for me. That might require me to unsubscribe, but they're coming, aren't they? They're once a day. Do I ever unsubscribe? Very rarely, because actually I love them. Okay, I might not want to join that program, but I'm still looking, I'm reading, and if it's something I've already decided I'm not going to attend or sign up to, most of the time there's a little unsubscribe button, so you can just unsubscribe from that. And I don't get upset by it.
No, exactly. There is always an option to unsubscribe, and people are busy. We think that because our business is 100% of our focus, we forget that for everyone else outside of our business, it is not 100% of our focus. My clients are people for whom marketing is not 100% of their focus. It's way down the list, and they work with me to get the support and the advice and the encouragement and the accountability to develop a marketing habit, a marketing rhythm that works for them. And if I'm talking to them about marketing, until they get to the point where they're ready to work with me or work with someone to get the help they need, they won't hear it anyway. So it doesn't matter how many times I put it out there, they're not going to hear it because it's not the right time for them. So you're not bothering them because they won't have seen it before. And much as we like to think that everybody in our network sees and hears and reads every single thing that we put out there, that's not the case either. And even if they do, you know, it's gone in seconds because there's 1,000 other messages have popped in front of their eyes and ears before we're back.
What you're saying there is all linking to that third point, which is, you know, you can do marketing without feeling spammy, sleazy, or a little bit grubby. It's about changing your attitude to it, your mindset to it, and seeing it differently, changing the narrative, you know, any phrase that suits you really. And that just knowing that you're going to hit them at the right time, and the rest of the time they're going to just move by, and that's okay on both sides. But yeah, I think there is a real issue, isn't there, around us? We don't want to bother people, and we don't want to be seen as, you know, grabbing, but actually that responsibility of getting out there really helps shift that mindset. But it doesn't have to be sleazy.
No, it doesn't. And, you know, there are people who do the shouty, buy my stuff, kind of manipulative, I use that word deliberately, marketing style that does attract some people, and it works for some people, and it attracts the right people for them. But if that kind of thing turns you off, that might make you think, oh, if I'm doing marketing, I've got to be like that. And you haven't, you know, because it's just a conversation. You get to choose, as I say, how you have that conversation. It's your business, your rules, and you get to develop your own voice. And actually that matters, because if you're not using your own voice and being your true self in your marketing, then the wrong people are going to kind of come to you anyway, or somebody's going to come, but it's not going to be right. You know, it's no one's going to get the best out of that. So just be yourself and have those conversations in a way that feels right for you.
I was just thinking, well, there was a couple of things. You could see me furiously writing. There was a couple of things that came to mind there, you know, and when I talk about money mindset, and I always see, you know, people say, oh, all those terrible connotations and feelings around money. And I would say, you know, unless you're a really greedy, horrible person before, having more money is not going to make you a greedy, horrible person. And I was just thinking the same applies to marketing. Unless you were a spammy, sleazy, grubby person before, you're not suddenly going to become one now with your marketing. So if you can find your way, be consistent, you are never going to be those things, and you will never be perceived as those things either.
Exactly. It is there's a lot of that stuff that goes on that you know, I can't put my prices up, I can't do this, I can't do that, because what will people think? And yeah, we know that we are good people, and then that getting out there, offering to help people. I was talking to a client yesterday who we were talking about how the conversation, you know, marketing is about bringing people into your world, and at some point you have to invite them to have a conversation about working with you. and she was talking about asking people to work with her, and I was helping her turn it round. We're not asking people to work with us, we're inviting them to work with us, because when you ask somebody to work with you, that makes it feel like they're doing you a favor to come and work with you.
I love
and we're not, they're not doing us a favor. It's a mutually beneficial relationship, and we get to help them, they get what they need, we get the joy of helping someone, and they pay us some money to help us do what we love or give it to somebody else. It's a partnership. It's just all about helping those dream clients get the right solution for them, at the end of the day, and you can do that in your own voice. That's important to me.
I think there is it's really interesting actually, because I keep getting these messages on Instagram, and I know from the first question what the following questions are going to be. And I wrote down the word grooming, and I'm going to have to come up with a different word because it's not the right word to use, but that's how I feel. I'm like, oh my God, you are taking me through a process, and I know you're going to sell to me. That's not feeling like a conversation. But I also love it when that happens, because it reminds me that I don't do that, and that's not what works for me, and it doesn't feel right. But it might work for them 100, 80 times out of 100. I don't know. It's not going to work with me. But I think there is this thing around when you are experiencing what you fear or what you don't like, see it also as, okay, so I don't like how that makes me feel. What feels good to me? How can I communicate with others in a way that feels really great for me? Because when we feel really great in the way that we communicate and connect, it comes across with the most stunning energy that becomes that attraction process, which means you can then nurture that relationship and then put that invitation out. And I think there just feels like there's some really, well, you have alluded to it, there's some really nasty tactics out there. And marketing isn't about tactics. It isn't about, doing more. It's about finding a way that feels really great for you and being really, really consistent.
Yes, absolutely. And that starts with that that intimate understanding of who your dream client is. Because if we don't truly understand what's going on for them in their hearts, in their minds, in their guts, in their heads, we can't develop those conversations. We can't make those conversations relevant. And and people worry about that. People worry about, well, I could work with anyone, I don't want to cut anyone out, and that's understandable, particularly if you're just starting out, or if you've had a bit of a quiet patch. There's a fear around cutting people out if you go too narrow. I don't use the word niche. I don't like it.
I'm so glad you used the word narrow. I was like, any minute now she's going to say niche or niche.
Yeah, no, because that again feels like you're squeezing people down a route that isn't right for them, and it feels like it doesn't feel human. It's a dream client, and there are, my dream client's called Sarah. I work with people called Deborah and Alison and Fiona. I don't only work with people called Sarah. I don't only work with people who are 53 and run that particular kind of business, but there are lots and lots of people like her, and those are the people I can reach when I am very clear what she is thinking, feeling, and doing. She has her tribe, and when I connect with one person in that tribe, I can connect with other people in that tribe, and that is why it matters to understand who your dream client is really, really well, really well.
And it's interesting because you said at the beginning that you predominantly work with women, but you do work with some men, and I'm the same. My marketing is aimed at women, but I'm presently coaching 3 men. It doesn't stop them from finding me. It doesn't
not
stop
at all.
them from wanting to work with me. I mean, they fit my ideal client, or I like to call them my 5-star client. They fit that in so many ways.
Yeah.
It just happened to be a man.
Yeah, exactly. It's about their attitudes, their personalities, their experience, their dreams for their business, their ambition for their business, and the way they want to grow their business. You know, if someone came to me, man or woman, who wanted to grow their business in a drive hard, smash targets, hit 6 figures in 3 months kind of style, I wouldn't want, well, they wouldn't come to me anyway, because they wouldn't be attracted to my messages. But if they did, I would encourage them to work with someone else, because we wouldn't be a good fit anyway. So it's absolutely far more about who someone is, what their values are, and what they are looking for from their business. So yeah.
There's been with my trusty pencil, because it won't stay up here anymore because I'm getting old. There's a few words that I've written down and that have really, really resonated with me today talking to you. When you were talking about marketing earlier, you were talking about habit and rhythm. And I just thought, oh my goodness, that is just such a wonderful way, you know, because I'm not even that keen on the word consistency. I don't like strategy, marketing.
Yeah.
I'm not that keen on consistency, because that feels suddenly really, really hard. But rhythm and habit just feels incredible. And the other word that you've said a couple of times is human. We need to remember that we are only human.
Yes.
And that we can show up as a real human. It's okay. And should absolutely, you know, connect with who we are, and remembering really that our clients are humans, and they want to be treated as humans, and they want us to communicate with them as if they are a human and not a robot. And those things really came through for me today. So I am so glad that we had those technical issues last time, and we've come back and re-recorded, because there has been just such a beautiful golden nuggets for me personally. And that's why I love doing, you know, having these conversations, because there's things that strike me. And that's why, you know, you are all my go-to experts, because you are showing up, you are connecting with us, you are communicating with us, and you are sharing our message, and we all learn all the time. So for me today, the 3 things, habit, rhythm, and human, are the ones that I'm really going to take away from talking to you.
I love that, because and it matters. Marketing isn't a do it once and it's done thing, sadly, but it doesn't have to be difficult.
How can people get in touch with you? Now, I will obviously share as many links as I can underneath the video in the description, but where should people reach out and find you?
LinkedIn is where I hang out most often. I feel most comfortable on LinkedIn. So if we're not connected, then come and find me on there and let's connect, have a chat. I do have Instagram. I am at Mentor Kaye on Instagram. That's kind of a bit hit and miss, because it's not a favorite platform for me and I don't have to be on it all the time. So that's okay.
I love your honesty. It's a bit hit and miss.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm on there with pictures of the dog, and sometimes I'm on there talking about marketing, and sometimes I'm not on there very much at all. I also have a Facebook page, Kaye King Marketing Mentor. That's Kaye, K with an E. And my website is marketingmentorkaye.com. So those are the places to find me. I always love chatting to people about marketing and what they are, how they're feeling about it, what they're up to. And I do run a series of workshops, free workshops, every 6 to 8 weeks or so. So you can always find those on my website if you want to come along to one of those.
Oh, is there a way on your website of getting on your mailing list?
Well, the signing up for the Fearless Marketing Workshop, whenever the next one is. The next one, as we're recording this, is the 26th of October, 2023. And there will be in the next couple of weeks a download, a dream client template download, because those questions to ask yourself, how to get to know your dream client, there's some useful questions in there to help you start that exercise. If you'd like it and you can't find it on my website, pop me an email, hello@marketingmentork.com, and I will send it to you.
Awesome. So marketing without tears in 3 steps, although you have shared way more than 3 golden nuggets. Remember, marketing is just a conversation and nothing to be afraid of. That doing more marketing isn't always the answer. And you can do marketing without feeling spammy, sleazy, or a little bit grubby. And you've also shared so much more. Kaye, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. And I think this version is way better than the first version.
Way better than any of the others. Well, the first one didn't happen, and the second one just was full of glitches. So yeah, thank you very much for persevering, Lindsay, and getting me back in the Zoom room again. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed talking to you today.
It's been a great conversation, and I know that people will see and hear those golden nuggets. And as I say, I will put all the links that you've mentioned in the description below so people can find you nice and easily. Thank you so much for joining me today.